As we approach the 3-year anniversary of this very show, I have another absolute slapper of a game that we can use to celebrate the occasion. We've been slowly covering the Borderlands games in a weird order, but Borderlands 2 is the king of the series, and it's time to kiss its ring and bow down. The first title was a good blueprint for what a Diablo FPS hybrid type of game could be, but Borderlands 2 perfected it, and the looter shooter was truly born with this one. Many people don't realize it nowadays because there are so many of them, but the looter shooter codifier is this game. It was so successful that it birthed many more in the genre to come. With refined mechanics and an addicting loot meta, the other major ingredient it needed was a compelling story, and this game has that in spades thanks to its fantastic villain. So we have a very good game to play, but what about trophies? Well, when I see how rare the plats for each version are, I kinda wonder what the hangups are. This platinum trophy ranges from a 0.6 to a 1.4% platinum rarity, so somewhere in this 51 set trophy run, there are people getting hung up on something. So let's explore why that's happening, trophy by trophy, and also stop Handsome Jack in the process. Look at that masked face, you just love to hate this guy. What a phenomenal villain, I bow. This is Platinum Hunters, the show where we take a look at everything it takes to get the Platinum Trophy and whether it's worth the effort to achieve it. I already have the guide for the other game in the Handsome Collection on the channel already. That's the pre-sequel, and that plat is even rarer than this one, so check out that video. And of course, subscribe for more trophy hunting expeditions just like this one, because you might just find your next platinum trophy. We have all the familiar hallmarks in a Borderlands trophy run here. This game set the pace for what to expect in most of the series' trophy runs. Sure, Borderlands 1 had stuff like level trophies, named locations, class-specific trophies, and more stuff like that, but Borderlands 2 absolutely ups the ante here on all of it and makes it way less boring and a bit more challenging. Other games in the series modeled their trophy runs after this one, and there are many steps along the way to grabbing this platinum trophy. We will cover it all thoroughly, and you will have all the knowledge to get this fairly rare platinum trophy no matter which platform you play it on. About that, the original PS3 release and the PS Vita version of the game share the exact same trophy set, so unfortunately there are not two separate plats to collect there. But there's also a separate plat for the PS4 version of the game that comes in the Handsome Collection, and even crazier than that, there is a PS VR version of the game and it has its own plat. Cool. There are some slight trophy differences between lists, but we will get into that in a bit. In fact, there are 50 trophies to cover, so time to loot and shoot. But just know that I have more helpful guides in the description below to assist you. Our story starts by getting double-crossed by Handsome Jack and left out in the cold. Literally. Then we got 16 unmissable story trophies to collect as you work on getting some sweet revenge. Still to this day, Borderlands 2, best story in the series, bar none. And the best villain, of course. Handsome Jack is that smart-mouthed, vindictive asshole you just love to hate, and you will hate him a lot in this game, trust me. If somehow you're playing this game's story for the first time, I envy you. I would love to go back to the moment when I played this for the very first time. On top of a baller story, we have great side quests to finish. For the Bounty Hunter Trophy, you have to complete 20 of those said side quests, which if you're doing them in between the main story missions, you'll get this trophy very quickly. It will also help you scale your levels and abilities better, so the game doesn't get too difficult on you when just focusing on the story missions. But of course, this trophy run wants you to complete every side quest in the game, so you can be awarded the Did It All trophy. This game has a crazy amount of side quests, totaling a whopping 109. That's nutty. I know some of these side quests are in parts, like the Circle of Slaughter fights, but that number is still pretty massive. Thankfully, none of them are missable, and that's great. Most of these side quests will be handed out in Sanctuary, your main hub base, but there are also side quests to be found in the levels themselves. If you're missing some for whatever reason, you just can't find them, I have a guide below that will help you find them and complete them. Some of these side quests have their own dedicated trophies, like the Circle of Slaughter arenas. I just mentioned this. It's like I have a plan or something. The trophy is called Went 5 Rounds, and you are tasked with completing all 5 rounds of any Circle of Slaughter arena. It's you versus waves and waves of enemies in a horde mode style. There are 2 arenas found in the base game, and on screen now I have info on where you can find them both. There are DLC Circle of Slaughters as well, but chances are you'll finish these arenas first, which you have to do anyway to complete all the side quests. Then there is this weird side quest trophy that I can't quite wrap my head around still to this day. As opposed to the other games like the pre-sequel, where we are trying to arduously reenact Ghostbusters for a trophy, the "Well, that was easy" trophy wants you to complete the Shoot This Guy in the Face side quest. It's found in 1,000 Cuts, and all you have to do is accept the quest from him, and then do what he says. Shoot him in the face. That's it. A trophy for shooting this guy in the face. In the face! It seems too good to be true. And it is too good to be true, because the last side quest that has its own trophy is a big one, and probably one of the last 5 trophies you will collect in this run. This game has a raid boss built into the base game, and for the Thresher Thrashed trophy, you will need to defeat the one, the only, Terramorphous the Invincible. This monstrous beast needs to be slain in order to get the Platinum Trophy. This oversized Thresher is going to be a tough fight if you're not prepared. The side quest, You Will Die Seriously, will only appear after you complete the main story, and even then, you are not ready, son or daughter. Even on your normal mode playthrough, Terramorphous will be level 52, and you will only be approximately level 32 or higher after you finish your first playthrough of the game. You're going to need to be at least 50 or 51, I'll say, to take him out on normal mode, and the higher level gear you have, the better. We are going to talk about level trophies and power leveling in a second, but once you are ready to take on Terramorphous the Invincible, there are a few things you need to know about the fight. The whole Terramorphous fight is made up of stages that he will cycle through, and there are the 10 on screen now directly according to the Borderlands fandom page. As you can see, the common denominator in most of these phases is the tentacles. So if you want to survive this fight, you need to take out the tentacles as they appear. Of course, it goes without saying, dodge the other attacks and keep your distance from the beast, especially when he becomes the Black Hole Thresher. If you go down, you can get back up by killing a tentacle, but make sure you don't go down after you got rid of all the tentacles on the battlefield. The mash phase can be dangerous too, because he can knock you out of the arena, and then that's an instant death. That will be a catastrophic end to the fight. My last 2 tips for this raid boss are to 1. Go in with a varied arsenal in terms of weapons and element types, because Terramorphous will change his element himself. And 2, which is a big one, beat the raid boss in co-op. In co-op, you have more of a chance to get back up and recover when Terramorphous isn't targeting you. That is my advice, and the rest is up to you. Go take down the so-called invincible Thresher and thrash him to get your trophy. Since we talked about getting to level 50 already, let's introduce that trophy and the other trophies you get along the way. They're on screen now. The level cap was increased all the way up to 80 after all the content was dropped, but you only need to get to level 50 for the purposes of this trophy run. By far and wide, this is the easiest game to get to level 50, and you don't necessarily need to do a run of True Vault Hunter mode to get to level 50. There is plenty of DLC content that you can play to power level you to 50 or get you pretty damn close. You have the 5 DLC stories which also have trophies, plus there are these smaller headhunter packs that are great for leveling you as well. If you're playing the PS4 version, you have all of it installed at your fingertips already except for the Commander Lilith DLC, so that's excellent. If you're short of getting to level 50 or plan to play the game past getting all the trophies, then I recommend clearing True Vault Hunter mode. Also, if you're not planning to play the DLC or you don't have it and you don't want to pay for it, you just need to use True Vault Hunter mode and that will get you to level 50. Now, one thing that might be tempting if you have the Commander Lilith DLC installed is to start a new character using a boosted class. As far as these level trophies go, it won't help you unlock them any faster because it won't unlock them at all. The boosted classes will automatically start you at level 30, and this ability was added to the game so you can play the Commander Lilith DLC right away. As well, the main story will be automatically completed with these boosted class, but you will not pop any of the story trophies. So this is helpful for some other cases, but do not use the boosted classes if you plan to start from the very beginning of the game, because it will not help you. Where you can use boosted classes is for the action skill trophies, which will make getting them less of a grind than the previous games we've covered them in. Each of the base game classes, Siren, Assassin, Commando, and Gunzerker have their own exclusive action skill trophies to worry about. For the first two, it's pretty easy to get them. The Saber Rattler trophy will practically get itself as long as you are actively using Axton Saber Turret to kill 100 enemies. It will take out multiple enemies with one use, especially as you upgrade it, so this trophy is inevitable. The Phased and Confused trophy is a little bit slower because Maya has to single target enemies, but still easy to get. You need to phase lock 100 enemies, and in the beginning you can only do one enemy at a time with every use and cooldown. Later on you phase lock multiple enemies with skill tree upgrades, so maybe think about using a boosted Maya if you want to save time doing this trophy. These next two action skills greatly benefit from the boosted characters if you are not using Zero or Salvador as your main class. For our Cyber Samurai Zero, we have the Unseen Predator trophy for using his action skill Deception mode for at least 10 seconds straight. This can be done with his base version of the action skill, but we can spec into some skills to help us pull off this feat. You will need to spec all the way to the bottom of the Bloodshed skill tree and unlock the skill Many Must Fall. This skill gives you an extra 2 seconds on the clock after you melee kill an enemy. This will make it easy to keep the clock from reaching 0 as you cut down enemies. You will need to be level 31 to unlock this skill, so the boosted Zero class comes in handy big time. Once you have the skill, go to an area with low level enemies and melee kill 3 to 4 enemies while in Deception mode. You start with 5 seconds on the clock initially, and the 3 kills give you 2+ seconds each time, so that will give you more than 10 seconds on the clock. This is the easiest way to get this trophy. The So Much Blood trophy for Salvador's action skill is kinda similar, except now you have to keep the gunzerking going for at least 90 seconds continuously. You need to have Salvador's level at least 25 and fully spec into the skills Last Longer and Yippee-Ki-Yay under the Rampage section of the skill tree. lasts longer, gives you an additional 15 seconds when you fully upgrade that skill, and Yippee-Ki-Yay gives you an extra 3 seconds every time you kill an enemy, also when fully upgraded. So when you have Salvador locked and loaded with these skills, you can keep your Gunzerk going for quite a long time, provided there is a continuous stream of enemies for you to roll through. In fact, if you take down 20 enemies without dropping the timer, you will get the trophy. I did this trophy in this section of the southern shelf after doing the Boom Boom fight, and there are plenty of enemies leading up to the fight with Captain Flint, and all those enemies will be lower level, allowing you to handle them quickly. That should guarantee you get this last action skill trophy. This is a very dense and crunchy trophy guide, so I'm glad you guys are still here listening. I hope the chapters are helping you guys out when finding all this information, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Let me know by putting a like down, and let's keep going. Now we're going to talk about the trophies that changed between versions of the game. Now, those trophies in this trophy breakdown where they've changed criteria depending on the game, we have some differences for this first trophy. In the PS4 trophy set and the PS3/Vita combined trophy set, you have a co-op focused trophy called Friendship Rules, where simply you just need to revive someone from Fight for Your Life that is currently on your friends list. No big deal, play co-op and revive a friend. What's wrong? Nothing really, but there are a few things you need to know about this trophy. If you are playing the PS3 version of the game, this is an online only trophy because split screen doesn't require multiple accounts to play, so you'll need a buddy online to help you out with this one. On the PS4 version though, you can do it offline because split screen does require 2 accounts to play it. So you can just create a secondary account and add each other on the PS4 and then do it split screen offline and get the trophy. Now, if you are playing the PSVR version of the game, you don't have to worry about setting up co-op at all because there is none. Instead, they replaced the Friendship Rules trophy with another trophy called Killing Time, where you have to gun down 5 enemies during a single use of BAMF time, which is an exclusive BL2 VR feature that slows down time almost like Max Payne or Fear. Boom, 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 while slowing down time, and the trophy is yours. The trophy differences between games are definitely small, but I thought it was worth mentioning to keep you on track. That's how thoughtful your trophy daddy is. Next, we'll move on to name location trophies, forcing you to become the ultimate tourist of Pandora. You have the overarching trophy, World Traveler, where you need to visit all of the named locations in the game, which is just a fancy way to say you need to visit all locations that come up with a name when you discover or visit them. You will also get these 4 other trophies on screen now in the process while you try to visit every place. While completing every mission in the game, you will naturally visit the grand majority of the named locations in the game. But of course, there are a few sneaky ones off the beaten path. It's a good rule of thumb to visit all of the grayed out places on your map for every level in the game. I have a guide in the description below that will help you with the more hidden ones to make this whole Pandora exploration task easier. Okay, across all the Borderlands guides that we have made on this channel, this is the 3rd time I have covered this particular trophy in some capacity. Maybe not by this name, maybe by a different name, but it's very similar. And this is often the trophy that annoys people enough to forget trying to get the Platinum Trophy in the first place. So I'm gonna have to give this trophy some special attention. This trophy we are bigging up is called Challenge Accepted, where you have to complete the first rank of every level-based challenge. God, that's a weird description, I know. If you flip to the challenge tab at the end of the select menu screen, it makes more sense. There will be a big list of challenges asking you to do various tasks like killing a certain amount of skags or getting a certain number of headshots with a certain weapon, and many other challenges like that. There are challenges that can level up to rank 5, and then challenges that are only 1 level, so for the purposes of this trophy, you only need to worry about the challenges that can increase to level 5, and in between that parameter, you only need to get those particular challenges to level 1. This trophy would be absolutely maniacal if it wanted you to get level 5 for each challenge, and then for sure only die-hard Borderlands fans would get the plat. In the description below, I have a guide that will give you the full list of challenges, but I'm going to cover the more notable ones you need to look out for. There are the ones that involve grinding, co-op, RNG, and other intricacies that will make the challenges more difficult to clear. First up are the co-op ones, which are quick and easy if you have a partner. On screen now are those said challenges. This is super easy to get if you have a second controller even, or if you have a buddy to help you out. Under the vehicle section, people often have trouble with the Blue Sparks challenge for killing 5 enemies while power sliding in a vehicle simply because they don't know how to power slide. You need to speed up and then hit the right bumper or R1 button while you're turning. That's it. If you do it on top of an enemy, you will quickly increase your roadkill count for this challenge. Simple enough, but often people don't know how to do it. Okay, I hate lying to you, but the truth is some challenges will need to be ranked up all the way to level 5 in order to unlock other hidden challenges. This is where the grind comes from for some of these challenges, as I mentioned before. On screen are the challenges that will require you to have another challenge level 5 before it unlocks. 2 of them, in fact. Yep, you will need 750 point blank shotgun kills and 200 splash damage rocket kills. The rocket kills are especially annoying because rocket ammo is so damn expensive to buy when you need to restock. It's better to go for these challenges in the end game when you are rich and leveled up. Yeah, they will be a grind and an annoyance, but it needs to be done. Speaking of annoying, the last challenge to look out for is the Jenkins challenge, where you will need to kill Jimmy Jenkins once. Jimmy Jenkins is this wee Hyperion robot that will be completely random as to when he will spawn. You might get lucky and encounter him early, or you might not see him during a whole playthrough. I certainly didn't see him replaying the game for footage, so that's absolutely horrible and ominous. However, there is a way you can get him to spawn easier, and you do this while completing a side quest called Doctor's Orders. While you're doing the side quest in the Wildlife Exploitation Preserve, you will find this room inside the main lab building that contains a chest, some lockers, and these 3 cardboard boxes in a row. Well, only with the Doctor's Orders quest active, robots have a good chance of popping out of the box, and Jimmy Jenkins could be one of them. If you open all 4 boxes and he doesn't appear, simple. Save and quit back to the main menu and try opening all 4 boxes again. You can keep doing this until Jimmy Jenkins appears and you get this challenge. Now, the bad thing about this process is that you will start at the beginning of the level unless you visit the Natural Selection Annex Arena, which will act as a pseudo checkpoint for you when you quit out of the game. Then when you save and quit, you will respawn halfway through the level instead. However, you have to have the Creature Dome Slaughter DLC installed, so if you're on PS3 or Vita, make sure you have this to save time. Eventually, Jimmy Jenkins should appear, and you won't have to rely on your always awful luck for this annoying robot to appear naturally. That's the challenges you need to worry about, and the rest will come pretty naturally provided you follow the objective and have the right equipment in your inventory. Completing challenges will also give you badass tokens that you can use to make your stats stronger. Well, there's a trophy for redeeming tokens, and you'll get the Token Gesture trophy when you cash in 25 tokens into your badass rank, which will come very naturally as you play. 25 tokens is a very small number of them. You will get infinitely more tokens completing everything you need to do for this game, especially completing the challenge accepted trophy. For this next run of loot-based trophies, we have seen these many times in games before. In fact, I don't think I've covered a Borderlands guide where at least one of them wasn't in this guide. So let's start with the decked out trophy, which wants us to look dapper as we equipped gear that is purple, rated or better in every slot of your Vault Hunter. So that means that all 4 weapons, your shield, your grenade, your class mod, and your relic need to be a weapon that is purple or better graded. The grade of your equipment can either be purple, orange, or the magenta colored weapons that are called E-Tech weapons. Just so we're clear, the pearlescent weapons from the Commander Lilith DLC don't count. Once you equip all slots with gear of these colors in any combination, the trophy will pop. The next trophy is for all the customization items that will drop throughout your adventure. The How Do I Look trophy will unlock when you find and redeem 10 customization items, whether they are changing your head, appearance color, or car paint job. You will get this trophy very quickly as there is no shortage of these to find. They will drop from enemies and sometimes be found as loot. Then we get to visit the always chipper, friendly and cuddly Crazy Earl a few times to get the Better Than Money trophy for purchasing 5 items from his black market. Here is where you can expand the magazine size of your guns, increase your backpack size, and more stuff like that. You have to spend Iridium at this shop, but it won't be long before you're raking it in later in the game, so buying 5 upgrades, no big deal. None at all. Last one is the High Flying Hurler trophy, where you need to take out a flying enemy with a thrown TDR weapon. TDR weapons are fun because instead of switching out the mag when you reload, screw it, just chuck the gun like it's a grenade or a tomahawk. You can even make some of them spin. Let's Beyblade! Beyblade! For this trophy, find a weak flying enemy like a rack and then weaken them. Then make sure you have a TDR weapon in your hand and wait till they dive bomb at you and just chuck it right at them. It might take some practice, but this is the best way to get this trophy. If there's one thing I hate the most in games, that's RNG. And now we have a trio of trophies that have some sort of luck and RNG component to them. So you want to keep these in the back of your mind while you're doing your trophy run, so that way your job is easier. Let's start with the Tribute to a Vault Hunter trophy, where you need to receive a cool gun from an NPC in Sanctuary named Michael Mamaril. If you don't know anything about this character, he is based on a real-life Borderlands fan named Michael Mamaril, who unfortunately passed away before the release of this game. Gearbox decided to immortalize him in the game, which is rad as hell. You will need to look for this NPC who hangs out around Sanctuary and gives you a random weapon blue rarity or higher. The issue is that there are 10 spots in Sanctuary where he stands, and it's completely random as to whether he shows up at all. I have a picture on screen now with all 10 places he could be, and I recommend looking for him every time you travel back to Sanctuary as you're doing other things. As I was obtaining footage for this video to show you, it took me almost an hour for him to spawn, so the RNG is strong with this one. I had to literally keep leaving Sanctuary and coming back to get him to spawn, so make sure you do your best to look for him whenever you're back in your base of operations. The second one is just as cool and a nice callback to Nintendo. Definitely an Italian plumber is the trophy, and you unlock it by finding and banana blasting Donkey Mong. That's not a slip of the tongue, by the way. Donkey Mong. We don't want to get sued after all. This is a souped up Bedrock Mong who has a red tie and barrels on his back that he's not shy about throwing them at you. You can only find him in the Iridium Blight area on this part of the map here, near the Ore Chasm area with that annoying robot that wants to be a real boy. Unless you are very lucky, chances are you won't see him there on your first try, as he is a random spawn as well. If you don't find him naturally and now need the trophy, just quit back to the menu after you search the area and keep trying. Eventually, Donkey Mong will appear, and before you put the banana slam on him, you can get close to him and steal his tie. No trophy for that, just doing it for fun. And the third RNG trophy comes right down to RNG, and there's not a whole lot you can do to affect it. If you know, you know, but for those who don't know, the cute loot trophy is for finding and killing a chubby enemy. While you play, you might notice an enemy not looking quite right and is a bit tubby.
Chubby?
And when you find that enemy, make sure you kill it. The chubby enemies are rare and completely down to RNG as to whether they will appear. However, this trophy is not as bad as the one found in Tiny Tina's DLC standalone game, because there is a lot more variety of enemies that can be chubby. These are the enemy types on screen now that can be found as a chubby boy. Hopefully, over the course of your trophy run, you will just naturally find at least one of these enemy types in chubby form. And if for some reason RNG isn't kind to you, try farming the Skags at the beginning of the Arid Nexus Badlands. Or if you want a 100% guaranteed chubby rack and you're gonna play the DLC, inside of the Gas Guzzlers side quest in the Mr. Torg Campaign of Carnage DLC, you can get a guaranteed chubby rack, and that will be good enough to get you the trophy. The way we will end this trophy run is by covering a bunch of miscellaneous trophies, some in Sanctuary and some outside in various places. These will be the last trophies for the guide, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know that you're enjoying the content down in the comments section. Let me know you're still here, enjoying the video. We start off in the best place in Sanctuary, Moxie's Bar, so we can get the Sugar Daddy trophy. Make sure you're rolling up with fat stacks in your pocket so you can tip the lady. Giggity. $10,000 to be exact. Roll up to the tip jar and drop the 10,000 in the jar like it ain't no thang and pop the trophy. Now what's cool is if you tip Moxie enough past the 10,000 mark, she'll actually give you a gun called Miss Moxie's Bad Touch. Then later on, if you keep tipping her and giving her more money, approximately 20,000, you can get the Miss Moxie's Good Touch guns. Both guns are pretty great SMGs. Also in Sanctuary, you can get the Up High, Down Low trophy for giving Claptrap a high five. He will be moving around Sanctuary because he can't sit still, but at times you can request a high five and you just have to hit the melee button to reciprocate. He will disappear sometimes for story reasons, but when you finish the story, for sure you can find him in his usual spot and give him a high five. Next, you will need to find an enemy called a Goliath for this next trophy and make sure there are a bunch of enemies around him. With that all set up, you can try and get the Goliath Meet David trophy for letting a Goliath level up to his max form before taking it out. When you shoot off the helmet of a Goliath, it will go crazy and start attacking anybody that's in the way. When it beats down enough enemies, it will level up. So you need to have enough enemies around you and around the Goliath that he can kill and upgrade to his final form called the Godliath. Then you can take it out and get the trophy if it hasn't become too strong for you to take down. I recommend the Frostburn Canyon for the place to do this, and make sure you're stronger than the Goliath by quite a few levels. Then you're going to have to find another enemy called a Constructor Bot so we can get the Build Buster trophy next. Head over to the level opportunity to get this trophy easily, and you will need to destroy the Constructor Bot quickly before it builds another bot. If you are a lower level than the Constructor Bot, you might struggle a little bit to kill it in time. So I recommend you beat the game and come back to opportunity later so you have the level advantage and can destroy it pretty quickly before it spawns another bot. Who knows though, you might get it on your own while playing the game. Near the end of the game, you will return to a very memorable place that has been ravaged by Jack and his shenanigans, but iconic nonetheless. Return to Fyrestone in the arid Nexus Badlands so you can get the feels like the first time trophy for opening the chest at the bus stop. Once you get to the place where you started this whole series, you will see this small shack at the bus stop that you can hop onto and find the chest. Just open it and the trophy is yours. If you're having trouble finding it, it's the part where you fight this very, very big enemy. That's all I'll say about that, but you'll know what I mean when you get to that part. And now, I've saved the best trophy for last because everybody loves dated memes. If you are strolling through the Highlands, you can get the "What does it mean?" trophy. It's a bit hidden, but if you go to this Hyperion outpost and follow the path I am taking in the video to this cliffside, looking out into the valley, then Claptrap will start wigging out like he's blazed as hell. Now look out to the sky and witness this magnificent sight. Double rainbow. Ho 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 ho. Yes! This is a reference to the double rainbow meme, which did come out relatively close to Borderlands 2's release in 2012. That's how you know this game is old, just like you. But a goodie. Yes, you're a goodie. You're like a fine wine indeed. But with that last trophy and last foot in my mouth, that double rainbow is your first reward for all your efforts in taking down Jack. Are you ready for your second reward? Well, if you looted and shooted across Pandora, found the vault and stopped Jack from getting his hands on it, defeated Terramorphous the Invincible, your first of many raid bosses to come, and collected all the trophies, congratulations! You will be rewarded the Borderlands Defender Round 2 Platinum Trophy for Borderlands 2. Or Borderlands 2 VR. When I say your first raid boss of many, I am of course talking about this game's excellent DLC offerings that this series is absolutely famous for. If you have the Handsome Collection version of the game, it's almost all included. The 4 packs in the Season Pass all have trophies, and they are Captain Scarlet and her pirate's booty, Mr. Torgue's Campaign of Carnage, Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, and the excellent Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. Later on, one more DLC was added to the game in 2019, which acts as a prequel to Borderlands 3. That DLC is called Commander Lilith and the Fight for Sanctuary, and is only for the PS4 version of the game. All 5 of these have trophies to collect, so that means we have another New Game Plus video we need to make. I'll update the description when that video drops so you can check it out. Overall, this is the trophy run that greatly influenced most of the other trophy runs in the series, and I think it's absolutely worth shooting for provided you're ready to put the work in. Compared to when this game first launched, subsequent DLC releases and additional content have come to your aid and made this trophy run way more manageable. Sure, it still has its intricacies like a few RNG trophies, some extra class-related partial playthroughs, and a few potential extra playthroughs to get to level 50, but I still don't understand why the platinum rarity is still so low. It's a 1.0 for the PS4 version, a 1.4 for the PS3/Vita version, and the VR version is sitting at a cool 0.6%. So completing this trophy run is pretty rewarding for your plat collection if you are into collecting rare plats, and of course if you're into the Borderlands series. Now 100% trophy completion is a different story, as there's still a lot to do. We still have a whole season pass to cover, plus one extra surprise DLC pack, but we'll do that soon, we got no rush. I wanted to reminisce about this trophy run because I love it so much, and I know it's one of the good ones to celebrate, especially for 3 years of making trophy guides on this channel. Here's to another year of Platinum Hunters guides and hopefully more Borderlands content to come. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been 3 years, which is crazy. It goes by so fast. We started this end of 2020, so it would have been like November 2nd was our first video, and that was Little Big Planet. And we've come now 89 plus guides. It's crazy that you guys watch this every week. It's crazy to think how many people check out these videos. I'm just super glad you guys are enjoying them. I love your comments. I answer everyone. And it's crazy. 3 years. Going on year 4. That's nuts. That's nuttier than this game. Like, and you know how nutty the Borderlands series can be. So I just want to thank you guys so much for keeping all these videos either on your download lists or on your watch later and coming back to them when you need trophies. It's crazy. I'm just really happy with the way the channel is, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy the content. I hope all your trophy hunting expeditions go incredibly well, and here's to another year of Platinum Hunters. Peace.